Hi and welcome to my channel. On today's video, I feature another one of those hard to find boxes that for one reason or the other is not available in popular retail stores. This one is called the X3 Max and it runs on the Amlogic S905X3 CPU on 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. For a low price of $38, you can get this 64GB model for a limited time, after which the price will be around $52. So in this video, I'll do my full review as usual and we'll see if the X3 Max is worth checking out. So stay tuned, you have that right after this. Welcome back. So in the box, you have your standard TV box contents. You have the X3 Max TV box itself, one IR remote, one HDMI cable, a 5V 2 amps DC power adapter, and a user manual. And now a quick look at its design and ports. The body is made of plastic with the X3 branding printed to the top. To the rear of the box, you have one HDMI 2.1 port, one RJ45 Ethernet LAN port, one optical audio port, one AV port, and the DC power input. To the left side, you have one USB 3.0 port, one USB 2.0, and a micro SD TF card reader. To the opposite side is blank. At the front, you have an LED display, and below the box, you have 4 rubber feet and some ventilation holes. So I'll just take a minute to set this up on my 4K TV and capture card and continue. So I'm all set and the X3 Max starts with a really cool startup animation for a few seconds, then you're taken directly to the launcher. The launcher is simple and clean, consisting of these large main buttons that cannot be changed and 3 additional shortcuts to the right. Below here you have the apps, home and settings button, and it does not have a navigation bar or status bar. Features of this firmware include 4K display up to 2160p at 60Hz, HDR display settings, Dolby Vision settings, HDMI CEC options, and digital audio output options. It does not have a root switch, hardware monitor settings, built-in screen rotation, or Samba server settings. In the apps section, these are the apps that come pre-installed. I've already checked for wireless updates and there isn't any available updates at this time. So to complete my review, I'll install some additional apps and continue. So I've successfully installed all my apps, and if you look below here, you can see that I've installed the menu button alternative navigation bar, which is by far the best alternative navigation bar for TV boxes. It's fully functional and allows you to multitask with mouse pointers such as wireless air mouse and mini touchpad keyboards. See the link in the description to my video tutorial where I show you how to install and set it up. First, let's have a look at its system and hardware information. The main board in this model is the Franklin and it runs on 4GB of DDR3 RAM and 64GB of internal storage, from which this is the remainder after the Android installation and all the apps I've installed. The Bluetooth version is 4.2, which is represented by the 4 Plus below here. Its CPU, which is the Amlogic S905X3, is a quad-core Cortex A55 CPU clocked at 1.9 GHz, configured in 32-bit mode with support for only 32-bit ABIs. Its GPU is the Mali G31 with a refresh rate of 60Hz and OpenGL ES version 3.2. It comes with dual-band Wi-Fi support, and here it shows that the 5 GHz band is supported. The operating system is Android 9 Pie and the box is rooted. The box runs around 55 degrees and it can rise as high as 70 degrees during heavy activities. It comes with all the decoders for the playback of 4K HDR videos and videos in digital audio surround sound formats. And in this list it shows that you have DTS HD and Dolby Vision decoders. And that's it for system and hardware information, and let's now have a look at its benchmarks. I'll start with its RAM copy speed and its internal storage read and write speeds. It has a RAM copy speed of 3277 megabytes per second, and its internal storage has a read speed of 76 megabytes per second and a write speed of 74. These results are what you would usually get on a typical Amlogic S905X3 TV box with the same RAM and internal storage. Next, I have the results of its Wi-Fi bands and its Ethernet LAN speed test. The results show that the X3 Max has underperformed in this test, where on my 100 megabits per second network, the 5 GHz band only achieved 40%, the 2.4 GHz band achieved 32%, and the LAN port achieved just 31%. So it will connect to the internet. However, these are not the kind of speeds you would expect from an Amlogic S905X3 TV box. Next, I have the results of the Antutu benchmark. In this test, it got a score of 74,480. This is a good score, yet we'll see where it places on the chart. In the Geekbench 4 CPU benchmark, it scored 787 single-core and 2,138 multi-core. These scores are good scores and they are consistent with Amlogic S905X3 boxes clocked at 1.9 GHz. The final benchmark, which is the GPU benchmark, revealed that the X3 Max does not have Vulkan support, so it only qualified for the Ice Storm Extreme test and the Slingshot test. And these tests resulted in an Ice Storm Extreme score of 5,538 and 516 in the Slingshot test. These scores are also good scores and should result in some decent 3D gaming. So those were the benchmarks, and I will now enter the scores on my rankings chart and let's see where it places. So the scores are in, and the X3 Max is at position 25 in reference to Antutu benchmark scores, which lands it right among the rest of Amlogic S905X3 boxes. This chart is available on my blog in full spreadsheet format where you can interact with it and compare various scores along with price comparison links. A link to that can be found in the description below this video. To start this segment, I will first check to see if it's rooted. The Root Checker app shows that the box is rooted, running on Android 9 operating system. This box does not have a root switch, so apps that require your box not to be rooted will not work on this box. Its DRM info shows that it has Google Widevine Level 3 with no HDCP protection. This level of DRM means that if you have a premium account with various streaming services such as Netflix, Sling TV, Disney Plus or Amazon Prime Video, you will be able to install and use them on this box. However, you will be limited to basic quality only. If I open Netflix or Amazon Prime Video, here you can see from a movie description that it does not have any HD or HDR icon that I would usually see on my premium account. On Amazon Prime Video, some of the videos will show the HDR icon, but if you actually play the video, it will still show in basic quality. For those who like to watch YouTube in HD and 4K quality, the box comes pre-installed with the Android TV version. However, I uninstalled this version and installed the version from the Aptoid App Store that plays in HDR quality. Here I'm playing a 4K HDR video sample, and it can play up to 4K 2160p quality. Also, while playing this HDR video, the HDR icon was triggered on my LG TV. The box comes with the official version of Miracast that plays in HD quality. However, when I tried to use it to cast my mobile phone, the pairing process failed continuously. So I installed the AirScreen app that plays in standard quality and it works with minimal latency. For those who like to customize their TV boxes by installing alternative launchers and wallpapers, the X3 Max provides this feature. Here I installed the EV alternative launcher for a change, and it works with features such as long-click menu pop-ups and drag and drop shortcuts. I also took the liberty to install a custom 4K wallpaper, but it only works with the alternative launcher and not the default one. I also installed a live wallpaper and it works, so you can install any other live wallpaper you prefer. For those who are into digital signage and would like to use this box for vertical portrait mode display, I'm sorry to report that the X3 does not support screen rotation. The X3 Max comes with an HDMI 2.1 port, so to test its true performance I will play my list of 4K HDR videos in various formats.
And only a win for Barca would be enough, because it would give them the same number of points as Atletico, but the head-to-head goal difference is what counts in the case of a tie on points. The mosaic of the Camp Nou and the Barcelona hymn being sung as referee Mateo Laoz prizing presence on the bench as well. Atletico playing in yellow, Barca in their traditional red and blue. Barca
the videos played really well, and from my experience, there's a difference in the smoothness of the playback between an HDMI 2.0 port and an HDMI 2.1 port, and the 2.1 port in this box nailed it. And now I will test its digital surround sound audio formats, and I'll be using the VLC player with audio pass-through enabled in the settings area, and I'll be testing for Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, HD Master Audio, THX, and Dolby True HD.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy.
Juries, executioners, judges.
Welcome to the inside of your head.
This is the left channel. Next, we have the center channel.
So this test shows that it has most of the digital audio outputs with the exception of Dolby True HD that resulted in the display displaying only PCM. For my final demonstration, I will connect my Bluetooth gamepad to the box and play some Android games to test its graphics rendering, gamepad key mapping, and to monitor for overheating. So from these demonstrations, it shows that the graphics rendering is not the best on this box. You do have gamepad key mapping capability. However, I believe the rendering is being affected by some moderate overheating. In summary, the X3 Max is similar compared to most of the other S905X3 boxes clocked at 1.9 GHz. As a TV box for streaming movies and TV shows, it is well suited and delivers a great streaming experience. Also, it has very good 4K video playback and digital surround sound audio output. The areas where it failed to deliver a favorable experience were in its Wi-Fi and LAN speed performance and its graphics rendering and heat management. Another area that I didn't mention during the course of this video is that the Google Play Store seems to be limited in content and attempts to update it doesn't seem to succeed. This issue can be easily corrected in a firmware update. Thanks for watching, and as always,